Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a video all about complexion. I get tons of questions about just stuff about complexion, and you guys know I love complexion. I like complexion more than I like eyes. I feel like if your complexion looks good, it doesn't matter what you have on your eyes, your makeup's gonna look good. So I'm gonna go in depth about tips, tricks, how to prevent caking, how to make sure your foundation doesn't look cakey, products that I use, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to see how to get a flawless cake-free complexion, then just keep on watching. Alright, so we're just gonna get right into it. There are, I would say, 4 tips to avoiding cakey makeup, and the number 1 tip, there's nothing that is more important than this, is exfoliation. Caking makeup is pretty much makeup just clinging onto dead skin, dry patches, all that stuff. So if you don't exfoliate and you have layers of dead skin on your face, your foundation is not adhering to your face, it's adhering to the dead skin that's on your face. While I was working at Sephora, I heard a lot of people that would come in and they'd say, you know, I wear my makeup and then it just doesn't stay on. Like patches of it will come off, or around my nose it comes off, or on my chin it wears off, or my forehead, and it was all because it was just dead skin sitting on the top of their skin. I always tell people exfoliate, 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 because when you get that dead layer of skin off, it's able to actually sit on your bare skin. I exfoliate usually about 3 to 4 times a week, depending. Sometimes I can really feel it, like around my nose especially, that's where I get cakey, like right here. Sometimes I can really feel it building up and I'm like, oh no, I need to exfoliate again. So I'll go in and exfoliate. I use 3 different types of exfoliators aside from my Clarisonic, which does kind of help exfoliate the dead skin. I use the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta, let me grab them. The Alpha Beta Extra Strength Daily Peel. Now this is a chemical exfoliator that is extremely intense on your skin, so this is something that you have to wear SPF as soon as you put this on if you're going to be out in the daytime. If you're going to do it and you know you're going to be outside, I would say just do it in the night, because it makes your skin very, very sensitive to the sun and it'll like fry your skin off. So this is one thing that I use. You can get these at Sephora, online, whatever, but these are awesome. They're so good. It comes with 2 pads like this. It comes with the Alpha Beta Extra Strength Daily Peel. This is the Exfoliate and Smooth, and then this one is the Anti-Aging Neutralizer. So there's 2 different ones. You do this one first, rub it all over your skin, and then you do this one right after, all over your face, and that's pretty much it. Your skin is chemically exfoliated. Another exfoliator that I use is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More exfoliator. That's something that I keep in my shower. I've talked about it in my skincare routine, which I'll leave my entire skincare routine down below in case any of you guys haven't seen it. So I use that, I would say like 2 times a week. That one is one that has like little beads in it, and that I really, really work like around my nose. It helps with the appearance of pores. It helps with all that stuff. So that's something that I use. Or if I know that like I'm going out that night, or if I really want my skin to look good, I'll use that in the shower in place of my cleanser. So those are the 2, I guess, main chemical exfoliators that I use. And then I also have the Baby Facial from Drunk Elephant, which is another chemical exfoliator. Kind of tingles your face, but when you rinse your face off and like pat it down, your face will feel like a baby. 2 is hydration. People tend to think that if you have oily skin, you need to not hydrate, and that is the complete opposite of what you need to do. Every single person needs hydration, regardless of if you're oily, if you're dry, if you're old, if you're young, you need hydration in your skin, and that is really gonna help the foundation not look dry and like cracky and like flaky and all of that. Then I would say your primer. Not everyone does this, but when I worked at Sephora, there was a couple of us that we felt really strongly about not using mattifying primers. Like me specifically, I don't like using mattifying primers on clients. I'd rather use a hydrating primer on a client and then use a mattifying foundation and a mattifying powder, just because the base of it is going to give you the best look. So I always use my Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I like my Becca Backlighting Priming Filter. Anything that's hydrating, I love using on the skin, or even sprays. Like the Mist and Fix from Makeup Forever is amazing. The MAC Fix Plus is amazing. I'm looking like to reference the ones that I have. The Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 primer, amazing. So I like to use sprays, and I feel like it also depends on your tool. I am a firm believer of using sponges, damp sponges, whether it's the Beauty Blender. This is an Eco Tool sponge. I get questions about this sponge all the time. This is an Eco Tool sponge. You can use the L'Oreal sponge. Any sponge, I feel like, is just the best because it pushes hydration into your skin because it's damp with water. I feel like when you're using brushes, if you have dead skin on your face and you're using brushes to kind of buff foundation in, it picks up the dead skin and it will make it a little bit more visible, which sucks. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the makeup application just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. First, going to prime my face, and I have dry skin. Most of you guys that follow me, you know I have dry skin. So I use a lot of hydrating products. I use this coconut rose face mist. I use this before my moisturizer and then after my moisturizer, and then I'll go in with primers and all that stuff. So first thing I'm going to spray on my face is this Too Faced Prime Set Refresh Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. This has coconut water, probiotics, and skin revivers. It's silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free. So I love this because it really does make your face feel nice and plump and hydrated and just like amazing and delicious and amazing. So I'm gonna spray this on my face first. It smells, I don't like the smell of coconut, and I really like the scent of this. So I like to put this into my skin. As you can see, I'm getting like a freaking breakout right here. I'm so mad. I must have put something on my face because I don't break out, and I have 3 right there. I'm gonna let that sit in, and while that's sitting in, I use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. You can see I use this a lot. I absolutely love it. This is a primer and moisturizer in one. I've mentioned before that I don't recommend replacing your moisturizer with that. I just feel like it's an extra little oomph, and this has hyaluronic acid in it, which I mention every single time I use it. Hyaluronic acid basically binds moisture from the air to your skin, and it holds its own weight by like a lot. Like I can't remember the exact number, but it feels so good on the skin. It makes your face look so hydrated, and it feels hydrated. That's one thing I like. It's not just shimmer. There's no shimmer in this whatsoever, but it really hydrates the skin. I absolutely love it. It's so good. So now that that is set into the face, I'm gonna go ahead and use my, hopefully this matches me still. It doesn't look like it's gonna match me anymore. We're gonna use Nars. So I'm gonna go in with my Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This is in the shade Syracuse. This is one of my favorite foundations because it has great coverage, but it also is a very, you hear, liquidy consistency. I prefer very thin consistencies because I don't like super thick makeup. I just don't. Again, that's gonna make you look cakey. If you're putting a makeup on your face that's like a fake frosting type, you're gonna be able to see it on your skin. I don't want it to look like I have a layer of foundation on. I have about this much on there, whoa. And I'm just going to dot it on my face. Again, this is one of my favorite foundations because the coverage is insane, which you will see. It's very pigmented. It's a very pigmented foundation, but not thick at all in consistency, which I freaking love. So now I'm just gonna go in with my sponge, and I'm just going to pat that into my face. And again, because this has water in it, because you use water to dampen it, a lot of people use these dry and then are very confused on why they don't work, and it's because it's meant to be used wet. So just always make sure that you're wetting your sponge and then like rinse it out. Why do I have that pimple? So you can see this coverage is wild, and you saw how watery and liquidy the foundation was. So I'm just pushing this all into my skin. This also, using a sponge just helps your foundation blend so much faster and easier and so much more effortless. Foundation's on, my face does not look matte at all because this is a luminous foundation. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my under eyes, and this is another important thing. When your under eyes crease and cake, it's because they aren't hydrated, so always make sure that you're using an eye cream. This is the eye cream that I'm using right now. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Eye Cream. It smooths, brightens, and depuffs. So this is the eye cream that I'm currently using. Just use an eye cream. You'll see a massive difference. So I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape, which everyone knows is a pretty thick, full coverage concealer, but probably the best concealer to exist. And I'm just going to blend that in with this sponge as well. This helps a lot, I feel like, because there are so many fine lines underneath the eyes that it's so easy for creasing and caking and all that stuff. It's just, we have fine lines under our eyes, and the older we get, the worse they're gonna get. So if you have them, nothing's gonna make them go away. The only thing you can do is hydrate them. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my under eye, and I'm using the loose finishing powder from Maybelline. It's the Fit Me loose finishing powder. I have the shade Light Medium 20, and one thing that I absolutely love doing, most of you guys know I don't bake. I'm not a baker. I just don't care to do it. The only place that I'll bake is kind of like in my nose area, But if you take your sponge, whether it's a beauty blender, the L'Oreal sponge, this sponge, any sponge, and while it's damp, if you dip into the powder, press it into your under eye and just keep pressing it until the powder is blended into your skin. It kind of makes the powder just push into your skin better, and it kind of makes it like fuse with your skin. It makes it so that you don't see powder sitting on the top of your skin, which is terrible. And it just looks way more like seamless and smooth. So like I said, I don't bake just because I don't care to bake, and I have dry skin, so baking just ain't the business for me. I can understand baking if you're oily, but I'm not, so just gonna blend that in. This also helps brighten the area because it is a little bit lighter than my skin, but I love it. And I'm also gonna put it right here. Now that we're done with setting the under eye, I'm gonna go ahead, my face looks crazy right now. I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face, and I'm gonna use my Ride or Die powder. This is the Sephora Micro Smooth Baked Face Powder. This is my personal favorite powder of all time. It's a radiant powder and it's baked. Well, I mean, it was like a bump like that. It has a radiant finish. It's gonna be hard to tell, but if you can see right there, it doesn't have a matte finish. This is honestly probably the only powder that I'll use forever. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna use a Sephora Pro Airbrush number 55 brush. And what I like to do, if you are doing your foundation and you twirl your brush and buff your foundation in, it's going to lift up your foundation and grab onto the brush. So if you just take your brush and press it into your face rather than swirling it, it'll keep your foundation where it is and really just lock it into place. Also, only use the powder where you feel like you need the powder. I don't powder my entire face. I usually only just powder right here because that's where I'm gonna go in with bronzer, and I don't want the bronzer to skip. Right here because this is where I'm gonna put my bronzer to like contour, whatever. And then I always put just a little bit here. And that's it. So I powdered here and here, here and here, and a little bit on my chin area. So what I like to do after this, I like to take a spray. Because I have all these powders on my face right now, I like to take a spray and just spray my face. And this helps fuse all the powders to your skin. It also helps not make them look cakey. So like right now, looking at my face, it doesn't look like I have any powder on. Well, my shoulders are tan, because I have the setting spray on there. And what I always like to do is just push that setting spray and all of those powders into the skin so that they're not sitting on the surface or just like laying on the surface. So now I'm gonna go in with my butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This one is in the deep bronzer shade. I just picked it up and I'm so glad I did because I ended up getting super tan and the other one barely shows up on me. So I'm going to just take this bronzer and use this Morphe M530 brush, and I'm just going to swirl the bronzer. This makes me look so bronze, like wait till you guys see. Swirling the bronzer on my forehead first because my hairline is all jacked up, so I like to contour the forehead, make it look a little bit smaller if I even can. Then I like to go on with the cheeks, and I always like to twirl my brush in round, like circular motions. Then I'm also just going to take a little bit on my nose. I'm not going to do like a deep contour just because I'm not doing anything today, so there's no point. But I'm going to contour it a little bit. Now going in with blush, I'm going to use this new, I got this in my BoxyCharm. It's like this little Ofra Cosmetics Z palette thing, and it has a blush in here. Sucks because it doesn't have a name. But it's like a really pretty dusty rosy color, so. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Gonna put that on the cheeks. I'm a blush person. I love blush. Like, it blows my mind when people say they don't like blush because I love blush. Now for highlight, I'm gonna go in and highlight with this e.l.f. Cosmetics Apricot Glow Baked Highlight. You guys know this has been my jam. I love it. It gives the skin such a pretty gold glow, and on tan skin this is just amazing. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I feel like this gets no recognition. It's just so pretty. Like, it makes my face look so glowy and so like healthy. I freaking love it. Like, look at how glowy I look. Ugh, I love it. So now again, I'm gonna take this spray. You can use any spray, Fix Plus. Let me switch it up and use Fix Plus. So I'm gonna use MAC Fix Plus just to set this down. And again, use this and just push it I'm going very, very softly and just pushing it into my skin. Just because I don't want to go too hard and then it lift up my makeup. Doing this also helps push the highlight into your skin, just so it doesn't look like you have a layer of powder, silver powder, which, I mean, I've seen it so many times. But this just helps it look like your skin is naturally glowing rather than, oh wow, that's highlighter all over your face. So now I'm just going to finish my eyes really quick. I'm just going to do mascara and lashes and I will be right back. Alright guys, so here is the finished look. I just put on some eyeliner and lashes really fast, nothing crazy. But I wanted to go ahead and zoom you guys in to my skin just so you can see the no cakiness. It doesn't look like I have a layer of foundation on my skin. My face doesn't look dry. There's no flakiness. My stupid freaking forehead lines. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this clears up any questions you guys might have or any frustrations that you're having if you feel like your foundation is getting like cakey and doesn't look as good or doesn't last. Definitely gives me a thumbs up if you felt like this was helpful. Let me know any other helpful videos that you want me to do down below and I'll definitely try to film them and get them up for you guys. Make sure you subscribe before you leave and I'll see you guys in the next one.